Skill sessions. Hey guys, skill sessions here. Have you guys been following baseball lately? Well, I just came off watching the ALDS series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Texas Rangers. Man, what a series. Talk about sweeping those cowardly Rangers out of contention. Well, you guys don't know what was going on. There's been a lot of bad blood between these two teams. Basically, it all started from last year's 2015's ALDS when they met in the playoffs, and I guess a lot of Texas Rangers were butthurt about the infamous or the great bat flip that Jose Bautista did during the seventh inning, where he basically put Toronto on top, and they came back from a 0-2 game deficit and just came back and won all 3 games and took them out of contention. So I guess they were very butthurt about that, and back in May of this year, they waited until the last game of their regular season matchup to basically have revenge, so to speak, for being butthurt about the bat flip, and they threw at Jose Bautista. And when Jose reached first, and upon another hit by Blue Jays, he just ran hard in second base. Now there are a few issues about that. Yeah, because I think the rules changed for this year so that you can't really slide hard and pass the base, or second base, in order to interfere with the second baseman. So that's what he did. But obviously, it was a legal run by Bautista based on this year's rule. But obviously, he was pissed off, right, because of being thrown at. So what happened was that he went past the base, and rookhead Oder, or whatever you call him, this rat-faced guy, Texas second baseman, didn't like it, and they got into a scuffle, and he basically sucker punched him. A lot of people say that it wasn't sucker punch, because he took it to Oder, but basically in baseball you don't really have real full-on fights like in hockey. It's just a lot of posturing and machismo and shoving back and forth. You don't really have real fights. So I think that's what Jose was anticipating. Yeah, he approached Oder and Oder pushed him, but I think when he came back at Oder, he was just expecting a lot of shouting in his face and a lot of pushing, etc. He didn't really expect him to be cocked in the face and basically blasted in the face. If you play back the replays in various videos you can find on the internet, his fists were not really fisted up and clenched up, so obviously he wasn't expecting anything. So it was basically a sucker punch in my view. Well, that's what happened back in May, and Rangers and their fans took a lot of were basically orgasming and just having fits of happiness, basically. Yeah, we got our revenge, but that doesn't mean nothing. It's just a stupid regular season game, and they're a bunch of cowards, basically waiting for Jose's last at bat of the season in order to do that. If they wanted to be man up and do that, they would basically just go up and do the first time they met in the season, but they didn't. And this shows what kind of snide, evil, and cowardly manager the Texas Rangers had, right? This guy, right? This Bannister guy. Doesn't this guy look like the guy from Saw, the Jigsaw guy? He's just like a slimy, sneaky-looking piece of crap, basically. So that's what happened in May, and they didn't meet up, and I think they never imagined that they would meet up again. And lo and behold, just a few days ago, they had to meet up in the ALDS, and you know what happened? 3-0 sweep. So, like one of those amazing signs said, it's better to be punched in May and than get knocked out in October, and that's what they did. So sweet revenge, on those cowardly Texas Rangers and their cowardly fans. Basically, there's nothing that you can say that you can justify what they did. So what? You get a little butthurt because of a bat flip. The bat flip wasn't even against the Rangers. It was just against the whole frustrating 7th inning. To be down a run because of that stupid decision, which I think is right? Because the catcher did throw errant throw. It was his fault to be responsible for the throw back to the pitcher, but the umpire called it off, called it a dead ball, and didn't even give the Jays a chance to recover and try to throw. I guess it was Oder, right, running towards home base from third. So it was all messed up, you know, and they were on the verge of losing by run just because of that bad call on the 7th. So it was a lot of pent-up frustration, and that's why Jose did what he did when he flipped the bat. You know, it's basically saying a big fu to the whole situation, and not necessarily at the Rangers, but mainly at the officiating. And yeah, just a mess up situation basically. So yeah, they kept it down inside. They didn't say anything. They kept class. They kept being tactful and waited until the right moment to revenge against the Rangers, and that's what they did. There's total dismantling of the Rangers in this year's ALDS. First game was 10-1. It was a total hammering and humiliation. Enough said, right? Second game was a bit closer, but you know, still, you know, Texas is still inferior team, so that's why they lost. What? So 5-3, right? And the last game, they finally showed up, but it was too little, too late. You know. It serves them right. It was just poetic justice too and karma that the error went to that Oldar guy because he threw, you know, a bad throw to first base. Basically, he could have ended the threat and with a double play, but he didn't do that. And the loss, well, lo and behold, it was to the guy who threw at Jose Bautista back in May. So, you know, even the baseball gods don't like you guys, right? So, what can you say? There's nothing you can say. Just eat it and take it up the butt, right? Basically, you guys, Texas Rangers, are a whole bunch of chokers. You know, it's been choking ever since they started the organization. How many World Series trophies did you guys win? 0, right? And what was it? The recent times, the 2 times that you showed up, you lost both of them. And in 2011, you were 2 strikes away from winning the whole thing, and you lost it twice, 2 times, 2 opportunities, up 2 runs, and I think 2 outs, 2 strikes, and you didn't do it. Talk about a bunch of chokers, you know. So, you know, work on yourselves, you know, stop being chokers, you know, fire a lousy, vindictive manager that gets butthurt over the littlest thing, and maybe, just maybe, you can be, you know, 10% as good as the Jays. But right now, you guys stink, so basically, that's about it. Yeah, so that's all I want to say. Thanks for listening. Skill Sessions. Share, like, comment, and subscribe, because you know Skill Sessions has the skills to satisfy.